Hiya. Today's edition of Kathy's Corner. So in 1990, I did a semester abroad in London and I got to meet one of my besties, Kathy. And we were very fortunate to take some time off to travel in Europe, and we had a lot of adventures. But when we were in Brussels, Belgium, it was like a long weekend situation. We went to Bruges and Brussels. Um, we got there on like the week that they shut down all the fountains in Brussels for like maintenance and cleaning. So the city of fountains actually had no working fountains. So we were wandering around, eating food and doing other stuff. And we stopped at one place, honestly, because they had a Budweiser neon sign in the window and we were missing things American, hard to find in those days. Had to go to the international food section of Harrods in order to find Doritos. And you don't realize how much you want a Doritos until you can't have them. So we're standing there with our map marking where this like Budweiser bar was, and this old man with a black lab came over to us and was speaking French, and we couldn't, knew a little French, but we couldn't figure out what he was trying to tell us. He kept pointing at the map, and then he just pointed down the road and was like, 2 blocks to the right, 2 blocks to the right. And he just kept saying that over and over. And so we thought he was a little creepy and weird, so we kind of like walked away a little bit. We glanced back over our shoulder. And he was still standing there, just staring at us, holding the dog leash. He was like, 2 blocks, to the right, 2 blocks, to the right. And so we turned 2 blocks, went 2 blocks, turned to the right. We see this little crowd hanging out at a wall. And we're like, well, must be where he's sending us. And we wandered over there, and it was Le Garçon Pissoir, the pissing boy fountain, very famous and recreated in many, many parts of this world. And it was working. The little boy was peeing. So if that man hadn't stopped and yelled at us to go 2 blocks to the right. So we've laughed about that and referenced it many times. A decade after that or so, I was working at Rockefeller Center. And if you don't know Rock Center, where they keep the tree is kind of in the middle. It's in between 5th and 6th Avenue. So if you don't know where you're going, you're a tourist, it can be very confusing. And whenever I saw people standing there with their little maps trying to figure out where the stupid tree was at Christmas time, very often, oddly, it ended up being 2 blocks to the right. And I would go, no. And they didn't speak English. So I'd be like, 2 blocks to the right, 2 blocks to the right. And that always made me laugh. And then last night at Montero's, I had a couple in traveling, Spanish speaking, I'm not sure from where. And they wanted to go walk across the Brooklyn Bridge after they left the bar. And so the woman had gone to the bathroom. So I'm talking to him. And I explained it in simple language. He didn't get what I was saying. So I explained it again using less words. He still didn't quite get what I meant. And I ended up sort of loudly with a big gesture going 2 blocks to the right. Because I knew as soon as he got down to the water, went 2 blocks, got to the water, he'd look to the right, and there'd be the Brooklyn Bridge, and he could figure it out from there. And it wasn't until they were walking out the door that I realized that what was funny 30 years ago was also funny to me 20 years ago. And it was funny last night. So that's all I got to say today. Traveling is an adventure. Making new friends is an adventure. If you're feeling a little lost, I suggest just go 2 blocks to the right. Apparently there's always something interesting there. So I love you, Kathy, and I hope everybody's having a great day. And I hope that you laugh. Laugh about something today. Think about if you haven't been laughing, I don't know, just figure it out, man, because laughter really is the best medicines. Reader's Digest, I think, has had that right for a very long time. So thanks again for visiting me in Caddyland, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Bye.